This is the story of Metatron, a legendary figure who doesn't get a lot of airtime in the biblical canon, but holds an absolutely supreme place in later Jewish mystical texts, especially in the Book of Enoch and related Kabbalistic traditions. He's revered as the Lesser YHVH, considered the ultimate commander of angels, and is even believed to be the greatest angel, transformed directly from a mortal human. Doesn't that sound absolutely incredible? How does a regular human being reach such a high status, even being given a part of God's own name? And what is his deep connection to Enoch, that ancestor in the Bible who walked with God for 300 years? Today, let us embark on this journey of discovery together and unveil the mysterious transformation of Metatron, from man to divine being. The mysterious ancestor in the Bible, Enoch's extraordinary life. To truly understand Metatron, we first have to go back to a very special person in the book of Genesis, Enoch. The record of Enoch in Genesis chapter 5 is actually super brief, but that's exactly why it leaves so much room for imagination. The scripture says, "When Enoch had lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. After he became the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked faithfully with God for 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enoch lived a total of 365 years. Enoch walked faithfully with God, then he was no more, because God took him away." In that passage, a few keywords really jump out. Walked faithfully with God in the Bible. That's incredibly high praise reserved for a very select few devout individuals. It means Enoch had an extraordinarily intimate relationship with God. Even more stunning is the ending. God took him away, and he was no more. This is totally different from the accounts of other ancestors who simply lived to an old age and died. Enoch didn't experience death, he was taken directly by God. This unique rapture experience left immense room for later imagination and interpretation. Where did he go? What did he become? The Book of Enoch, ancient texts unveiling heavenly secrets. When we talk about Enoch, we absolutely have to mention the Book of Enoch. To be precise, it's a series of ancient texts known as the Books of Enoch, and the most famous and influential of them is 1 Enoch, also called the Ethiopic Book of Enoch because its most complete version is preserved in that language. Even though the Book of Enoch isn't included in the canonical scriptures of most Christian denominations or in Judaism, it had a huge impact on Jewish thought during the Second Temple period and in some early Christian circles. The New Testament's Book of Jude even directly quotes a passage from the Book of Enoch. The content of the Book of Enoch is incredibly diverse and fascinating, filled with descriptions of angelic hierarchies, the structure of the cosmos, the movement of stars, the story of the fallen angels called Watchers, and their union with human women giving birth to the giants known as the Nephilim, and descriptions of a messianic figure referred to as the Son of Man or the Chosen One. It's in this fantastical work that Enoch's image is greatly elevated and deified, laying a crucial textual foundation for his subsequent transformation into Metatron. It vividly describes Enoch's miraculous experience of being taken up into the heavenly realms. He's escorted by angels, traveling through layer after layer of heaven, coming face to face with the glorious presence of God. During this process, Enoch's mortal body undergoes a miraculous transformation. Some descriptions say his body was turned into fire, or he was given the glorious form of an angel. He was granted immense wisdom, learning the mysteries of the universe's creation, the language of angels, the paths of the stars, and the laws of God's judgment. In some later Jewish mystical texts, especially the 3 Enoch, this transformation is depicted even more specifically and profoundly. This work, probably written between the 5th and 7th centuries CE, is a prime example of Jewish Hekkelot mysticism. In it, Rabbi Ishmael, during a trance-like ascent to heaven, encounters a supreme angel named Metatron. This very Metatron reveals his origin directly to Rabbi Ishmael. He is none other than the ancient patriarch Enoch. According to the accounts in 3 Enoch, after Enoch was taken up to heaven, God himself crowned him, bestowing upon him a crown of glory and magnificent robes. His body was expanded infinitely, becoming as vast as the cosmos. He was given 70 sacred names, each corresponding to an attribute or power of God. He was placed right next to God's throne, and even allowed to sit on a special throne himself, an honor completely unheard of among angels, as usually only God can sit. He was appointed as the heavenly scribe, recording all the deeds of humanity and everything that happens in heaven. More importantly, he was granted immense authority, managing the entire angelic world and serving as the primary mediator between God and creation. The arrival of Metatron, the stunning proclamation of the lesser YHVH. The very origin of the name Metatron is shrouded in mystery, with scholars proposing various etymologies, perhaps from the Greek metathronos or the Latin metator. Regardless of its exact source, this name, in Jewish mystical tradition, represents a unique, incredibly powerful, supreme angel. And Metatron's most striking and controversial title is none other than the lesser YHVH. This title directly links Metatron to God's own sacred name. YHVH is the most holy and unutterable name for God in the Bible. To call an angel the lesser YHVH is undoubtedly a declaration that he possesses a status and authority second only to God, serving as God's most direct and authoritative representative in the universe. 3 Enoch records that Metatron is called the lesser YHVH because his name contains a significant part of God's name, or perhaps the numerical value of his name is equivalent to it. Furthermore, God bestowed upon him a portion of his own glory and power, enabling him to act on God's behalf. However, this title has also caused theological confusion. There's a famous story in the Talmud about a rabbi named Elisha ben Abuyah, who, upon seeing Metatron seated in a vision of heaven, mistakenly thought there were 2 gods in heaven and consequently fell into heretical beliefs. This story indirectly confirms how incredibly high Metatron's status was, to the point of causing such misunderstanding. But precisely because of this, other rabbis emphasized that while Metatron is glorious, he is still a created being, a servant of God, and absolutely not to be confused with the one true God. The authority and glory of the supreme angel, Metatron's diverse roles. As the lesser YHVH and the chief of angels, Metatron plays extremely important and diverse roles in Jewish mystical tradition. First, he is the prince of the divine presence, meaning he can stand directly before God's glory, unlike other angels who need to cover their faces. This symbolizes his unparalleled closeness to God. Second, he is the heavenly high priest and the heavenly scribe. He not only serves in the heavenly temple but is also responsible for recording all human actions, both good and evil, and all important events happening in the universe. His records will serve as crucial evidence for the final judgment. Next, he is the sustainer of the world and the master of wisdom. He's believed to be a key force in maintaining the order and operation of the universe, and he controls divine wisdom and cosmic mysteries, revealing these secrets to those chosen, like Moses. Some traditions believe it was Metatron who delivered the Torah to Moses on Mount Sinai. Additionally, Metatron is also considered the guardian angel of Israel, appearing multiple times throughout the history of the Israelites, guiding and protecting them. Some traditions even connect the angel of the Lord who led the Israelites out of Egypt, appearing in the pillar of cloud and fire in the Book of Exodus, and the mysterious figure who wrestled with Jacob in the Book of Genesis, all back to Metatron. His image is also full of majesty and glory. He's described as having countless eyes and wings, his body burning like fire, and his size far exceeding all other angels. He possesses 70 or 72 sacred names, each holding immense power. How does a mortal reach this point? Metatron's extraordinary journey. So, the core question is, how exactly was Enoch, a mere mortal, gradually elevated to ultimately become Metatron, so glorious and powerful, almost on par with God? First, and most fundamentally, is Enoch's own extreme piety and holiness. As Genesis emphasizes, he walked faithfully with God for 300 years. This continuous, deep, unbroken, intimate relationship with God was the primary prerequisite for him to be chosen and elevated by God. He lived a life that transcended the mundane, a life wholly dedicated to God. Second, it was God's direct selection and proactive intervention. Enoch's elevation wasn't due to his own spiritual practice or efforts, but rather God, out of his infinite grace and sovereignty, proactively took him and bestowed upon him a glorious identity and authority. This was God's response and reward for Enoch's devout life. Third, there was a complete transformation and divine endowment. During his ascent, Enoch underwent a total change from a mortal body to a glorious, spiritual form. God not only purified him but also granted him the mysteries of the universe, divine wisdom, the language of angels, and the authority to govern all creation. This endowment was comprehensive, enabling him to bear the immense responsibility of the lesser YHVH. Finally, it's his unique role in God's redemptive plan. As the primary mediator between God and creation, and as the heavenly high priest and scribe, Metatron plays an indispensable role in God's cosmic governance and plan of salvation. His existence demonstrates God's willingness to use those who fully trust him, bestowing upon them glory and a mission beyond imagination. Conclusion: Metatron, the eternal mystery and aspiration between humanity and God. From the briefly mentioned ancestor Enoch in the Bible, to the wise prophet traveling through heavens in the Book of Enoch, and then to the radiant lesser YHVH Metatron in Jewish mysticism, this path of transformation from human to supreme angel is full of astonishing mystery and profound theological significance. Metatron's figure isn't just an ancient mythical legend, he represents humanity's deep yearning for transcendence, for closeness to the infinite, and for union with God. He proves that, under God's grace, a life fully devoted can be elevated to such glorious heights. At the same time, he reminds us that no matter how close to God, the sacred boundary between creator and created still exists. The story of Metatron, like a mysterious star shining brightly through history, continues to draw people to explore that eternal enigma between humanity and God, to ponder the ultimate meaning of life and the highest spiritual aspirations. He is both a bridge connecting heaven and earth, and the ultimate symbol of the perfect fusion of human potential and divine grace. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you have any unique insights or questions about the legends of Metatron or Enoch, or if you'd like to share your feelings about these mysterious topics, please feel free to leave a comment below. Let's expand our understanding of the universe and the divine together as we explore ancient wisdom. We'll see you next time.